Hi there, Troy Harrison, the Sales Navigator. I've been talking about avoiding what I call chat crap for quite a while now. And if you haven't read any of my stuff, what is chat crap? Well, chat crap is inauthentic material, content, blog posts, social media posts, all that kind of stuff that is generated with AI applications like ChatGPT. And it doesn't even sound like any human being that ever existed ever wrote it because the syntax is off. There are certain tip offs. There's over the top language, and it's crap. And then when you post this stuff, it doesn't sound like you. And that's why I call it chat crap because people see it and it immediately tips them off that, okay, this isn't authentic. This isn't this person. And nowadays, being authentic in your social media presence and your blog posts is more important than ever. Well, if you read my stuff, you also know that I use AI. I've written a lot about how to uh, use AI and avoid chat crap. And I thought this morning, maybe the best thing to do would be to actually record me doing it, actually show you how the sausage is being made, and maybe that would help you. So that rather than writing about it, we're going to show you exactly how I do it. And we're going to do that by screen sharing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing here. And by the way, the tool that I use is called Claude. As you can see up here, it's Claude.ai. And I've been using Claude now for about 6 months. I like it a lot better than ChatGPT because I think that what you get at the beginning is probably a lot better than what you get in other fashions. So, like tools like ChatGPT, I just don't like it. So, here's what we're going to do I want to write a short social media post on etiquette on a Zoom call. This is something that I see a lot of. And so, let's see how we do it. I'm going to, and Claude's very polite. Good morning, Troy. So, I'm going to, good morning, Claude. I'm writing a post on Zoom etiquette for salespeople and managers. I've noticed that people are very sloppy about their Zoom calls and they come off as unprofessional, and that can harm their ability to make sales and foster good relationship. This post will be for LinkedIn, and I'd like to keep it to 300 words or less. Can you write a post for me to give people some tips? Okay, here's a 296 word draft. Zoom etiquette tips for salespeople and managers. Now, here is what I like to do. First of all, I'm going to take this and refine it a little bit, but what I found is that sometimes, not always, when you refine things, you can lose what you had to start with. And there's times when I like what I had best to start with. So I'm going to do a copy, and then I'm going to paste it into a Word document. So I've already got it. In our increasingly virtual world, video calls have become the norm for sales meetings, client interactions, and team collaborations. However, many professionals still treat Zoom calls too casually, projecting an unprofessional image that can hurt sales and business relationships. Follow these etiquette tips to make a great impression. Set the stage, clean, uncluttered backdrop, check your lighting, minimize potential audio distractions, like barking dogs or loud household members. Mind your presence, dress professionally. This is a big one. Stay seated, look at the camera, not the screen. And admittedly, I'm looking at the screen right now because I'm reading off of it. Mute yourself when not speaking, stay engaged, close unnecessary apps. Avoid eating full meals, which can be unsightly and create noise distractions. Yeah, I guess I don't have I won't bring my plate of spaghetti onto the screen. Good Lord, who actually does this? Okay, little things matter on video calls. Okay, this is actually pretty good. It's a lot better than what I used to get out of ChatGPT, but I am going to refine it. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that was pretty good. Thank you. I believe in being polite. Now I'm going to tell Claude one of, my biggest, pet peeves is when people log on late or struggle with basic tech, like getting the camera started during the allotted time for the call. I believe that you should log on early and solve those issues before the start of the appointment. Can you rewrite this and include this message, please? And expand it to 350 words when you do so. Okay, now what Claude's going to do, okay, see, now we're going to expand it a little bit, and it looks like Claude basically kept most of what it had, but it added in be technically prepared. Log into the video meeting 5 to 10 minutes early, have your video camera set up, working, positioned properly, close out of unnecessary apps. If joining from a mobile device, ensure you have a strong internet connection. Okay, now we're really getting somewhere. And so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I like what that is better than what this is, so I'm just going to get rid of this. And now we're going to Control V that in. Okay, now we've got a great basis for a blog post. First, before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about AI and what it really is. What we think of as AI is actually in the business, it's called large language models. And large language models mean that these applications have the ability to process larger pieces of language than, say, a Google search. Like a Google search, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but sometimes you can type in so many words into a Google search that your results get less accurate. The reason is Google processes word by word by word, and when you have a bunch of words in there, it doesn't know which words to focus on. So it picks, and a lot of times what it picks isn't necessarily what you want. So the shorter your Google search term is, the more accurate it gets. Large language models work in the opposite way. Large language models can understand chunks of language. Large language models can understand sentences, it can understand paragraphs, and it can understand context. And because it can do that, it can also remember what it just said and refine. So when you think of AI, I got to be honest with you. People think AI is spooky, artificial intelligence. Woo! Okay. What this is large language models where you're actually able to have a conversation with your computer, refine it down. And again, I've said this before, treat large language model tools like an intern. It's a great intern, has a higher IQ than you, has 20 PhDs, has no street smarts. The street smarts are what we just gave it through the typing that we did. So, okay, now, next step in making the sausage, and here's what's funny. What Claude gave me was so good that I'm honestly not going to do that much refining of it. I really like most of what it had. However, what I do want to encourage you to do is make sure it sounds like you. When you're reading through this, does it sound like you? And I'm going to look at phrases. Okay. In our increasingly virtual world, is that something that I actually say? Ah, it's not something that I wouldn't say, but I can refine that a little bit. I can put that in a little bit different language. Since 2020, uh, actually, I'm just going to stick with that. Since 2020, because that's really when all this kicked off. Video meetings have become, and I'm going to say the norm. I don't think they are the norm. Much more common for sales meetings, client interactions, and team collaborations. Video calls can be a great tool. They are time efficient and can be done at your desk. But that's a double-edged sword. I do use that phrase double-edged sword quite a bit. And I'm going to take out the however because it doesn't make sense now that I just put that sentence in. Many professionals still treat Zoom calls too casually, projecting an unprofessional image that can hurt sales and business relationships. Here are some tips to, here are some tips to be both professional and authentic, which will allow you to make a great impression in your next video meeting. Again, I'm just tweaking words, making it sound like me. Be technically prepared. And I'm going to put an exclamation point behind that because this is a pet peeve of mine. And I'm even going to say that. This is a pet peeve of mine. Modern salespeople are competent in this technology. And it's not going away. Okay. These I like. Log into the video meeting 5 to 10 minutes early, have your video camera set up, close out of any unnecessary apps. Set the stage. Find a clean, uncluttered backdrop for your camera view. Blank walls or professional virtual backgrounds work well. However, virtual backgrounds use bandwidth and can be distracting. Be very careful if you use them and make sure you don't pixelate or drop. Okay. Check your lighting to avoid harsh shadows or backlighting. Natural lighting is best. Minimize potential audio distractions. Yep. Mind your presence. Dress professionally. Stay seated and avoid excessive movements. Look at the camera, not the screen. Mute yourself. Good with all that. Stay engaged. Don't multitask by checking emails, messaging apps, working on other tasks. Ask questions. Avoid eating full meals, which can be unsightly and create noise distractions. The spaghetti can wait. That's just a little fun thing. Little things matter on video calls by being technically prepared, setting a professional stage, minding your presence, staying engaged. You'll project a polished virtual image. Your sales numbers and business relationships will be better for it. Even when the environment is virtual, people still want to do business with real professionals. Okay, so that's what we've got. And I got to be honest with you, I kind of like this. I just did this post for a demo, but I think I'm actually going to go ahead and put it out there because this is pretty good stuff. My point is this: AI is a great tool. These are tools that we need to be competent in going forward. And look, I've said before, I use AI probably every day or two, whether I'm generating an image for social media or whether I'm getting inspiration. And you don't have to do what I just did. You know, there's been times I actually asked AI to write an article on something a few weeks ago, and I disagreed with every conclusion that Claude made. I like Claude, he's a good guy, but sometimes he gets it wrong. So I started writing an article, and I basically wrote an article that was the exact opposite of what Claude had. These tools can be great for content generation. They can be great for inspiration, but they can also generate a lot of chat crap. And when you generate chat crap, I am a firm believer in the idea that you hurt yourself more than you help yourself. You know the drill. If this video has been at all helpful to you, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, drop me a comment. I'm Troy Harrison, the Sales Navigator. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you are an owner or manager of a company, scan the QR code for your free sales strategy review.